job to like comment on other people's lives and other people's success and other people's business, other people's crafts, you know what I'm saying? That's your job, to comment on other people's shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't laying no verses. You ain't dropped a single in centuries. So this nigga decides to get on his little podcast. Veins popping out his head. Screaming, spitting and shit. Talking about my singles was trash. My nigga, them songs is straight heat, boy, international. And I know that for a fact, so I don't need your opinion on my song, Joe Budden. I don't need your opinion on my songs, you feel me? That song wasn't written about you. It wasn't written for you. It wasn't written in mind of you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't make the beat. You didn't have a verse on it. You ain't did a verse in centuries, my nigga. You ain't even dropped a song in centuries.
Yo, it's Big Ant, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV. Had to come tap in on the little spat with motherfucking Swae Lee and Joe Budden, man. Joe Budden recently had a podcast episode where he called the little 2-pack that Swae Lee released trash. Man, make sure y'all go subscribe to the channel right here, Urban Politicians TV. Follow me on both Instagrams. One, the blog page is at Urban Politicians TV. You see it in the bottom left. And my personal is at Urban Politicians _Big Ant, man. Now, we know Swae Lee, you know what I'm saying, has branched off, you know what I'm saying. Still Ray Shrummer. They still Ray Shrum Life forever. But, you know, he's kind of crossed over musically into a pop lane, does a lot of features. We just released a 2-pack. And, you know, whether you like it or not, you can have your opinion on the music that he releases and the music that he makes. Opinions are part of the game in hip-hop culture. But Joe Budden got on his podcast, gave his opinion, and Swae Lee didn't like it. And me personally, man, I kind of feel like with Swae Lee, it's the sense where Joe Budden, you know, when Joe Budden actually gives his opinion on music, people don't like it because of the simple fact he used to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? They don't take it, which artists are going to be sensitive about it's their art, it's their creativity, it's something they put they hard work, they effort, they time, they energy, and put their feelings into. And then when somebody calls it trash, they are going to get offended. I don't give a damn if the masses call it trash. You're going to feel some type of way about it to a certain extent. But you might be able to look off a fan or look off somebody else, but when another person who was a rapper says it, you then gonna be offended. But Joe Budden has went into that lane with his podcast and the content creating he does with the Pull Up and also the Revolt TV show with Remy Ma. That's dope. I actually am a big fan of the Joe Budden podcast. That is my favorite podcast. I am on record saying that it's the best podcast out after mine, of course, the Urban Politicians TV podcast. We got 40 episodes on that motherfucker. He does have the best podcast. I feel like it's raw, it's uncut. It's 3 homies, 4 homies, 5, 6 homies sitting down having real conversations. I watched it from the beginning. I was always a fan of it when I first got onto podcasts, even before Joe Budden was on Complex, I was watching it. And I'm still tapped in to this day because Joe Budden knows a lot about the game. He has a lot of experience. The people around him that's having this conversation have experience. So he wants to keep the integrity of the show and give his honest feelings. But people are going to get offended when you passionately, like he said, you had the little yachty face on with the veins popping out your head and the sweat and the yelling, saying it's trash. They going to get offended by it, man. So we just got to see, dog. Shout out to Joe Budden, shout out to Swae Lee. I fucks with both of them, man. Keep doing y'all thing. Subscribe to the channel. Urban Politicians TV got a lot more coming, man. 1,000.